In this video, we will talk about AI-powered content factory and how you can unleash SEO mastery for you as a creator with ChatGPT and other AI tools. And with me, I have no one other than Dennis Yu. He's the co-author of the best-selling Definitive Guide to TikTok Ads, and he's the co-founder of Blitzmetrics. He has so much experience. I see him all the time popping up on Facebook, different posts. He's getting jobs for so many people, like millions of jobs, and he's spending over $1 billion on Facebook ads. So he's been featured all over the web, and he's actually a good friend, also my partner in this project, Jan. So that's kind of how I got to know him a little bit better and bring him in on for this summit to talk about this topic. So how are you, Dennis, today?
Good, Navid. Yeah, greetings from Vegas. I'm a creator too, like the rest of you guys, and I want to share how I've done it for my personal brand, and I want to show live examples so it's very practical, because the biggest issue I see with creators is that they're very small, and if I Google you, I can't really find a lot of information, and you don't have a big team, or you don't have big budgets. AI tools like we will show today are how it's like having a big team of people working for you, and I'm going to demonstrate this through my example, not because of what I've heard from someone else, but because I've done it myself, and I want to see other people follow from example.
Yeah, before we get in, because I know you have like this 4-stage content factory, and there's like a specific process for creators to maximize their SEO efforts.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've done this for a long time. You've been online, but how did you you have been creating content, but how is now AI, how did you get into the world of AI to help you with your content creation process?
So I was a search engine. This is now almost 30 years ago.
Well, that was for Yahoo, right?
For Yahoo. I was one of the first people at Yahoo.
Yeah.
And I found that we didn't call it AI back then, but the code back then, we could replicate things. We could answer millions of queries per day of what people were asking. And imagine like if I had to, anytime someone typed a query into the search engine, I had to like actually answer it myself manually. And I'd have just hire more and more people to answer more and more people that were asking questions inside the box. Like there would be a limit to our capability there, right?
Yeah.
But imagine we can answer people's questions as we do today, and all these answers come back. That's the way I think about AI. If you have knowledge, if you have relationships and credibility and trust and a product or service that you offer, and we can answer someone's question very personally, exactly, given that we understand their distinct situation, then they're going to pay us as a creator. They're going to buy our course. They're going to sign up for our program. They want to have us on their webinar. They're going to want to spend money with us. If we have product relationships, maybe we're an affiliate for somebody, they're going to want to buy that product based on the recommendation, because we've used the AI to be able to kind of multiply ourselves. Like imagine, there were 1,000 Navids. What would they do?
Yeah.
Right.
I wish in this project for creating summits, I wish I had 1,000 of me. It would be amazing.
But you almost could, because you could have 1,000 Navids interview other people if the AI knew you well enough. And if the simulation of your face and your lips and your voice and all that were good enough. We're not there yet. It's close.
Not exactly, but you can, I'm sure with time it will get there, because already you can do certain things with your voice and stuff like that to get that with AI. But so let's get into this. I mean, it's really interesting, really fascinating what you can do now because I know you have been really a big proponent of hiring people overseas. I think that's you go to Pakistan, you go to India, you go to the Philippines, I think. So so now I guess you can also train people like that to use AI in your business. So like you might hire one VA on a specific topic, and they are like having 5 VAs almost, because you're using artificial intelligence. So have you seen this yourself, working with this now? Have you actually trained your team and the people you work with to use AI so they can actually multiply themselves?
Yes, we have courses on how to use all the different AI tools. Right now, it's a fractured environment. So there's maybe 15 different AI tools that we use that are integrated with the different CRMs. There's AI integrated in the ad products. There's standalone tools like a Descript or ChatGPT. But obviously go to Google and you go to bard.google.com, which is their ChatGPT. It's all integrated there. So I'd love to show you.
Yeah, absolutely.
What that means.
Let's do a screen share for this.
I'm going to share my screen here. And first off, I'm one of those, like, I don't believe you unless you actually can prove that you've done the thing, right? I'm very cynical.
And Dennis, but for sure, he has done everything. That's why the people I bring on summits and videos and things like that, they're typically people who have, firsthand experience doing the thing they're teaching. That's kind of the people I like to bring on. Like when I talk about summits, I have done this for a long time. Dennis has done this when it comes to SEO and training teams and stuff like that. So I thought this would be really interesting. So you can see.
So I do a search on myself.
Graph comes up.
So knowledge graph surfaces in these things that are called knowledge panels.
Yeah.
And you can see that it categorizes me as a writer. So you can be an entrepreneur, you can be an athlete or whatever it is. And you probably know when you Google other people that are like celebrities or musicians, it'll say like musician or dancer or whatever it is they do, right?
Yeah.
And it has all this factual information about me. And it says, people also ask, who's the CEO of this? And notice here at the top, the navigation, you see this, Navid, it says Blitzmetrics, it says Content Factory, Wikipedia. Like normally up here, it would say what? Like news and images and videos, but now it's personalizing this result to me, right? And then here's this little bio, and here it shows my LinkedIn and my Facebook, and people who look for me, they also looked for Larry Kim and Ryan Dice and these other people, right? Here's the CMO at SEMrush, right? Olga.
Yeah.
And it shows other kinds of, here's clips of different videos, right? Books. So this is ideal for your personal brand, right? But then the question is, how do you get this? And if you're a creator and you obviously have to make money from people that hire you, right? Or relationships that you have, they're going to Google you and you want this to show up, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe someone else has the same name, right? Some other athlete or some politician has the same name, and now, you don't look as good, right? But this makes you more authoritative, right?
Exactly.
So then how do we do this? And then I click on this little AI thing and it shows this stuff. Oh, look, there's my book. There's my course on Fiverr. So Fiverr asked me to teach this course on personal branding, which is what we're doing here. So it says that I'm a personal branding instructor. And it says, what about my LinkedIn? And what about my Twitter? And here's these follow-up questions, right? And if I go to the AI and I search and I do a new one, you can use any AI. It doesn't matter. You get the same thing will be true. But I say, who is Dennis Yu? It's going to say all this stuff, right, Navid?
Yeah.
And then I can ask follow-up questions, right? Dennis is known for his $A strategy, blah, 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 blah. And I can say, if I'm a creator, how does this apply to me? And this is not a great question, but how can we be more specific? If I'm a creator and I have this situation, and this is my product, and this is where I am, and this is what I've done, and this is my network. Do you want to name someone as a creator? Let's say Jan. Jan's a creator, kind of, right? So then, does it know who Jan is? So Navid, how important is it for the AI to know who I am to be able to make good recommendations?
It's quite important because you need to, needs to know something in order to give, if you especially if you want to create content for your own brand, right? It's important that they know something about you, maybe your tone of voice. And you can also add custom instructions, as you mentioned, you can add some stuff like that, but still, if there's nothing about you online, it's a little bit difficult, and then you need to feed it a lot of information. But about you, it's a lot. I think Jan, he took out his personal website. I don't know why, but he has.
I know. I told him.
He needs to get that back.
This is hurting him from an AI and
it
standpoint.
It is. He's just focusing on the Cobra now, like his software in Germany mostly, and obviously helping with the summit and our projects. But he needs to get just a portfolio site at least or something up, which could benefit from a search perspective, because no one, when you search for his name now, nothing comes up. So I think that's not so good.
So this is what's unfortunate. So when this used to be a good search. So now when I search for Jan, there's no knowledge panel entity that you would know, because then this little square, this little
But how do you get that panel for you? I don't know. I don't think I have the knowledge. I had it before. I think I had some more things for my name, but
I can't even spell your last name.
I own the first page of Google for my name, like Navid Moazzez, but
spell it. Spell your last name.
Moazzez. Yeah, Moazzez. Yeah. So my LinkedIn
so here
now is
there's your
above my.
LinkedIn, but then you have your website, Navid.me.
Yeah, it's my
So
website.
most people, their LinkedIn ranks for their name as number one, right?
It started
then
this
the other
recently.
social
I think
medias.
it's my site used to always rank number one, but recently LinkedIn took over.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
strange.
why do you think that is?
I think because I haven't updated my site too much. I think my site will take over eventually. Plus, I changed the domain not too long ago, so my domain rating. We're gonna create a new one on WordPress. This is in Ghost right now, but we're gonna do a new one. I had the site on navidm.com and we redirected it. So I think that's why I lost ranking.
So you've lost some of that. Yeah. So this one here. Yeah. I actually like the full name, Navid Moazzez, because it'll show up.
No, I just wanted to keep it really short because my name is quite unique, but
yeah.
I had before my full name, but then I shortened it. I just,
and I get it from a branding standpoint. So a friend of mine,
it's easy to spell. My last name is hard to spell. So I just like that. Yeah. So but how do you get the knowledge graph, for example? What do you need to do in order to get that? Like, for example, you and some celebrities, they have that.
Yeah. So here, how do you get a knowledge panel, right? And here's these related questions. So I literally put together these 7 steps. So the first thing is you have to own your name as a URL, right? So that's why you mentioned with Jan, you have to own the domain. So a lot of people, they have a company name, but you still need to have first name, last name.com if you can. And if that's taken, then get the .org, .co, .ai, .whatever, right? But why is that important to have your name? Because as you referred to, Google's knowledge graph, which is their mapping of all the internet and how it connects together, ties together based on entities. So your company's an entity. Your personal brand, you as a person I'm an entity. This camera that you're looking at is an entity. You know, everything, the cell phone's an entity, a picture's these are all objects in the knowledge graph. So Google has to associate any videos or pictures with, especially if you're a creator, it has to associate that with the entity and the entity home, the main, what's in Google we call it, or in search engines we call it the canonical, like the one source of truth, like this is the one, should tie to your domain. So if it ties then to your LinkedIn instead, you don't have control over LinkedIn. You have control over kind of what you put on your LinkedIn profile. But it's always better to have your domain, that asset you control is like the hub of your brand, and it starts with that domain name, right?
Yeah, that's what I said to Jan. He needs to get back his site. I think he had like Jan. I think he has this first name, last name .me or something, but it's still better. It's good. I think he redirects us now to the consult services or something, but I do think he should get that back, actually.
We had a lot of content that was on this site, like podcasts and interviews and things like this, and it doesn't show up anymore because it was
he took it out.
That site got blown away. He didn't move the content somewhere else, or he didn't redirect
I think it's because he's focusing on the German market mostly. But anyway, like so you need to own your name. That's important. You need to have like a domain name for your name in order to do it.
Yeah.
But what else? Like you need to
so
do
if you're not
something
authoritative, you've got to then, as I show here in step 2, like everything I document, like I literally can search for it to answer your questions. But here, trigger the knowledge panel via specific searches. So if you don't show up on your name, then type in your name, virtual summit, Navid Moazzez, all this.
Yeah.
So here, because Jan is not well known, this German soccer player is showing up. That's thinking, maybe if they're talking about this guy, right?
Jan
it's not a good sign that this other guy's showing this.
Scenes type of guy,
Yeah.
He's behind the scenes now. But I do think it's valuable to build, even if you are like a company brand more, I think it's great to build a personal brand, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, some of the biggest founders, I mean, like yourself even, but like Elon Musk, he has a big personal brand, right? So I do think, and even Jeff Bezos, people like that, they have a pretty significant personal brand. So I think it's important, maybe not, to do it as much, but you can have at least your personal website, I think.
If you're a creator, by definition, you have a personal brand. And if you're reluctant to the idea of having a personal brand, a lot of it's because, I don't want to be Gary Vaynerchuk and constantly showing my success and drive Lamborghinis. And like, that's like one way of, being more active, whatever. But, I don't do any of those things. And I think a personal brand is really just a way of sharing your message. It doesn't mean that you're outgoing. It doesn't mean that you're constantly live streaming and, showing your food or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you just overcome that, then you will see that what Google's trying to do is tie together all these different things. So when I'm saying Jan, it's saying, well, does it want do I want to connect with him? Do I want to learn about him? Do I want to watch videos? Do I want to look at his social media? So it's tying together. Notice, the YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, it's all these entities they're trying to tie it together, but he has not claimed all of these different entities. So we say claim all these socials here. And there's like 20 or 30 of these, and it doesn't mean you have to be on all of them active all the time. Just go in one time or have your VA come in and just claim all of them. That includes, Reddit and TikTok and different directories, like just random
like
stuff.
Quora and things like that.
And we have a list of it. So, if I do a search on personal brand entities,
I tend to do this. I mean, I don't know if I have all of them, but I have done a lot of them, and I'm not really using too much, but I have all of them with my name. Usually I have taken my name for them.
Yeah. Just reserve your name. Most people don't even do that. It's just a good thing to do. Even if, get your name before someone else gets it. So we put together a list of all the assets that you need to have that tie together, with your tag manager and whatnot. And here we have this access checklist. So you want to have the entities for your name and for your company. Even if you as a creator, it's just you and the company, why would you want to have it it seems like you'd have a duplicate one. Like, why would you have a TikTok for yourself and for your business, a YouTube for yourself and your business, a LinkedIn for yourself? Like here, Crunchbase. Why would you create a company profile and also yourself as a founder, executive of that company? Why would you do all that? Doesn't it seem like you're duplicating work?
Yeah.
But you see all of these, right? Yeah. Alignable. Like, why would I want to be on Alignable? I'm not there to try to network with other small business owners. Like, why would I, I'm already using this other hosting thing, I'm using Wisty or YouTube. Why would I create a Vimeo account or a Medium account, right? Flickr, like what? I thought that thing died 10 years ago.
I had a Flickr a long time ago. I remember, I forgot my login for this, but I have an Unsplash actually with new photos. I just started posting. Okay. That is actually a decent traffic source. If you start posting a lot, can be a good one actually. I've seen.
What we're trying to do is send Google a signal that this Navid Moazzez is Navid Moazzez across all these places, because it's looking to see that this is the same person with the same bio. And, the company name is the same across all of them. So,
Jan consistent, doing this. Basically. Consistency across platforms. Yeah.
So here, this is a different Jan. And then here's just the Cobra. But is his headline and profile and all that, is his profile picture the same across all the networks?
I wanted to ask about, is this important that it's the same profile picture? Some people use different ones to just differentiate a little bit. Or do you think it's good to have the same across like Twitter, Facebook? Personal.
I understand how people will make the analogy that, you're going to dress differently for the funeral than when you go to the beach, than when you go to whatever. So you can have a different outfit, or you don't always want to be looking like you're wearing the same clothes every day. I get that argument. I think it's an incorrect analogy, because the way I view it is this little, icon, this little square circle, whatever it is across all these places is your identity. And you want this identity to be the same. So you want to show the same picture everywhere. Now, your cover picture or, the content you post changes all the time, but this needs to be the same. It's like your phone number for your friends. You always want to have the same phone number. You don't want to have like 3 different phones unless you're like hiding that relationship with your wife.
Unless I'm like a global citizen, I'm in different time zones and but I have the same WhatsApp. I have my UAE number because I'm based Dubai. So
well, I'll be in Dubai. I'm flying to Dubai tomorrow, so maybe we can meet.
No, now I'm in Stockholm when we are doing this, but later I'll be in Dubai. That's a bummer actually. Otherwise we could have met. Yeah,
I'll be there for 6 days, so I'm in Dubai all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
But do you see here? Like, this is so simple. It is a little bit of a pain in the butt initially. Like, why would I want to be on Twitch and Pinterest? Just do it, okay? Because it sends Google the signal. And then you can see my explanation of how do you tie it all together. And it's literally like, reader, I put this on the access checklist, right? Here's all these things you need to have. And it's mundane, but it works.
Okay.
Right?
Very good.
And then of the articles and videos and pictures and things that you have, let's see which of them have SEO power. So I look you up and I see that this is your site. And I want to see, like, of your content, Navid, what's got the highest power?
Right now, it was a lot better before, because as I said, I lost rankings. Before I was getting more traffic, but I didn't really care when I was redoing my stuff. But I can boost this again if I just work a little bit on it.
So because you moved to a new domain and it was all 301 redirects, where you see these 301s. So your most powerful links, which are votes, right? People who like, comment, or share, or link, or leave a review, they're all votes. I don't care if it's social or digital, or it's all the same thing. It's all votes for me, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Your number one thing is from Neil Patel. You already know this.
I have like a few links from him, I think.
Yeah. And so this here, Neil Patel's a DR91. So for those who don't know SEO, this is a lot of power, right? And this page alone ranks on 39 keywords and it drives 350 people, but it's also looking at like 32 people or however many people. So you have all these other ones, Smart Blogger, all these other, so these are good, right? Obviously, you doing these virtual summits and being known for this, you have all these people that are talking about you because you're a content creator. We're all content creators, right? But the 301 doesn't pass juice completely. So
no, it's because I did it. I moved to, okay, here's what happened. I moved to Ghost, I think, and I was on WordPress before, but we are actually moving back because for the summit we use WordPress now. So I'm gonna move back because we
Please be on WordPress. This one thing that we're talking about.
I'm redesigning the site, so I'll move back and possibly I will redirect all this to the proper blog post on the site. So I just redirected to the main what do you say, root domain, which is not good. I should have redirected them to navid.me/ the exact domain that was on my old site, right?
Yes,
that would have
high relevancy.
And that was that was
a mistake. To the home page, to the root domain. Do you not think that Google's tracking when people click on this thing and they come to your site, and if they just bounce because they were expecting to hear about blogging or whatever, that hurts your SEO?
Yeah, it's not that great. So I know this but it was so difficult with Ghost to redirect things. I just didn't care in this moment, but. But it's bad, I know. So that's a lesson for everyone. When this is like more advanced to do this, but
these are all people like Neil Patel's freaking linking to you. This is like winning the lottery. This is SEO juice. So it's passing juice, but unfortunately it's hurting your SEO because here it was supposed to go to this thing about business lifestyle review, and instead people who click on it are expecting the thing that Neil was pointing to, right?
Okay, it's good. But
so everyone be on WordPress.
WordPress is good for SEO. Then, you have rank math and different tools, and they actually have AI features, for a long time.
Yeah, the AI content creation. So if we look at
just to recap, because we are going through also the 4-stage content factory process. So what's the stages we have talked about and what we're getting into?
Here are the 4 stages. So the first stage, which all of us understand as a creator, is making the content, right? Yeah. So how do you make the content? It's on your camera, it's a Zoom call, you're posting on social media, there's, footage from the conferences, there's, your iCloud, you're taking photos. So we're producing content, right? We're on other people's webinars, whatever it is, right? But then the biggest problem that creators have is they don't move to stages 2, 3, and 4. Each stage has an amplifying amount of power. It's like 10 times more powerful for each stage. So if I produce it, then I need to edit it using whatever my favorite tool is. I happen to really like Descript, which is like a Swiss Army knife. I love
Descript. I use it actually for summits, for videos, and then I bring it in. If I need to do something more, I bring it into Final Cut afterwards for like an end screen or something. But Descript is like the first process to just
it does 95% of it. And then if you really want to go into Premiere and After Effects and whatever the other tools,
too much fancy stuff, but I like adding an end screen or something like that, which is already done for YouTube, can be powerful, or like a subscribe thing, something like that. If you need to
do that in Descript too.
You can do it, but
they made a lot of modifications in the last couple months.
Okay, I'll try that as well.
Yeah.
I use it also to remove like background noise and stuff like that. It's really good actually. So
studio sound, and then getting rid of ums and ahs if you and I speak clearly, so we don't have that issue. Anyway, it's like 15 different things that happens all in just one click. It's AI driven, right? So
perfect.
AI driven processing includes things like taking the transcription off the video and then turning that into an article. And that's when you use like ChatGPT to say, okay, I'm going to paste in the transcription of my conversation with Navid. Please turn it into an article. Give me a better headline. Write email copy and social post promoting that URL, right? Give me
have you found like I'm using Rev. I used to use Rev a lot before Rev.com, but
Rev was great for pure
I use it
transcription.
way less now because
they cost too much.
They cost
They're $1 a minute for audio and $2
it's really expensive. It's accurate for sure, but I find now the AI transcriptions from like a tool like we're recording this on Riverside, it's actually pretty good, or Descript.
Yeah. Well, Rev.com
really
used to be human, but now they're mostly AI. So why would you give them this fat profit margin if they're just using the AI anyway?
Exactly, because the AI has gotten so good, so you don't really need it. Like if you, it's not 100%. Like sometimes when you say ChatGPT, maybe they stumble on it, but like it usually is easy to change and fix, and also it learns with time. So it actually, you can train the AI. So with time, with your content, it gets better. So it's nice.
So if you're processing through Descript and ChatGPT and other tools, processing is an intermediate optional stage, because I love to take videos, chop them up into different pieces. So then it can be an Instagram story or a few tweets or a blog post or a YouTube or like whatever, right? So I like to create long form video, co-created content with other people that are well known in a particular category. YouTubers call these collabs, and publish it everywhere. But because I don't want to publish exactly the same way, I process it, and keeping in mind that, you know, what people want to see on Instagram versus on Facebook, on Twitter is going to be different.
How do you go about the collabs, by the way? Just to, because I'm interested. I mean, I'm doing the summit stuff. That's a form of collab, obviously. But how do you do that?
My favorite thing is to meet people in person, because I think the vibe is better. If you can't, then just do, Zoom or whatever.
You're amazing at that. I need to start going to events more soon. So maybe next year I go to more events. But I love.
So Navid, name any city in the world.
I mean, you're going to Dubai, so let's talk. Dubai. I mean, I don't know if you spoke there recently, but.
So I've been to Dubai many times. I've done the tourist thing. I go there for meetings. And this is my Google Photos, which is pulling automatically off of my phone. So I'm not tagging anything. So you can see I'm on Emirates and they're serving the food and all of this, right? Very nice, right?
It's not bad. I have done this a few times as well.
Really I love the little juices. They have this like carrot juice thing, which is very nice.
Actually, they have fresh juices on Emirates in first class and business class, I think. So it's nice.
Yeah. And you can see here that I was in Dubai. This one was 8-9 months ago. And this is my buddy Munawar. And you can see that it was taken on an iPhone 13. And this is where it is, right? So all this information is being tracked, and I can tell a story about this. And if I click on Munawar, you can see all the other pictures and videos that have Munawar, and you can see how it's all tagged, right? Because it has this, I can, now remember, let's go back to the framework of these 4 stages.
But you get it from like, you sync it automatically to Google Photos, you said, right?
Automatically. I love
I think
frictionless. I don't want to do anything.
You seem to have it more organized than me.
But do I? Not really. I'm just capturing things on my Zoom or on my phone or whatnot. And when there's stories or videos, you can see that I'm making them, right? So name an activity, or name a noun, name something else, just so I can show you the power of the AI built into Google.
Activity, maybe going to, I mean, you go to a lot of events. You said you'd like create content for, I mean, let's say, I don't know if you do interviews with other people in the space. Okay. Yeah, an interview, for example.
So interviews, I do a lot of interviews on my iPhone rather than the camera, because I don't want to have to copy the SIM card and upload.
No, but when you're doing it on the fly, it's pretty nice. Like when you go and like just get a few questions, you can get pretty easy content like that, especially if you're in a busy event or something.
Okay, so this is off of my iPhone. I did nothing except record it on my iPhone. And of course, I have the microphone to get good sound. And here, I'm interviewing a plastic surgeon, or he's a cosmetic surgeon, and he just did a liposuction. And I'm asking him all these questions about liposuction, right?
That's interesting.
And here's my friend who owns a funeral home. She's the #1 rated funeral home in Las Vegas. And I'm asking her questions about this, right? How did you do this? And you know what, this one, I asked her, okay, so you own a funeral home. What are you going to do for your funeral? Right? So she's answering that. So I'm just collecting all these we said interviews. So there's lots of these interviews, right?
So you seem to be really good at just doing this on the fly. Like you use your daily life to create basically, or whatever, your day to day, so to speak. So you create that could turn into a Facebook post, that could turn into maybe a LinkedIn post, whatever that is, right? Is that kind of how you see it?
Yeah, this is my friend doing a magic trick. This is Steve Spangler, who, if you're an influencer, he's super well known. He's a Coke and Mentos, science professor guy, but billions of views. And so because I have these interviews here, you can see I'm interviewing other people. They're interviewing me. It's all being captured here. This is in our video studio. You can see. Then this gets pulled to be repurposed by a whole team and then turned into articles. Now, where it comes into an SEO perspective is, let's say, markets.
Where do you mostly, you have your Blitzmetrics site, you have your personal site. Where do you publish on both, or?
I publish everywhere.
Okay, everywhere. Cool.
So I have a lot of sites that are clients of ours. They're sites that we control. So we have the #1 free ebook site on Google. Literally go Google free ebooks. We have 1 million visitors a month.
Wow.
It's a domain rating 75.
Awesome.
Right. Here, this is a domain rating 74. This is market scale. This is my profile here. And you can see all of these videos and things like this. Like you can see like this one, like how do you hire a virtual assistant, right? And this is just a Zoom call we're doing. Like here's like all these different things. And then notice off of the raw video, off of my iPhone, it gets turned into something like this. See, look.
I think you can't hear. I think in this recording you can't hear it. I think it's just something with the Riverside. You can't. Yeah. I'm not sure how that works here.
You don't have to hear the audio. You see what's going on here, right?
Yeah, I can also link it. I can link it up as well.
Yeah, but the point is, I'm taking raw video content. Like here, I'm in the car. We just did a hike in Boulder. This guy's a successful agency owner and he invests in a lot of companies. Here, behind the scenes at a conference, right? All of these moments, these authentic kind of on the fly moments. Here at the Las Vegas sign, here I'm getting an IV therapy, drawing my blood, all of this, right? Here I'm meeting this woman who survived a horrific plane crash and then, wrote a whole book about it and started a hospital because of her injuries for other children and burn victims, all of this, right? All of these moments are here. I'm in Pakistan, right? Interviewing this guy who has 1.3 million students across his incubators, right? All across Pakistan. Yeah. These are all great because then the team automatically grabs it off of my phone. I don't need to do anything. They notice, oh, here's some new videos.
Let's talk slightly about the team, because maybe some people, we can use all this AI to do it ourselves, right? And help enhance this and do it.
Do you really have time though?
But where do you get your, I mean, where would you recommend someone get started if they wanted to hire someone to actually implement some of these strategies?
Come to this group, Digital Marketing with Dennis Yu, and there's 40,000 you can see here. And these are people, this is one for Pakistan, but we have one for the Philippines and one of these other areas, right? And these people are all engaging.
What's the difference typically between there are different cultures kind of, but they're all, I'm sure, can be found good people from all different places.
Look, there's great people in Colombia, in America, in Pakistan, like wherever.
That's your time zone as well. If you want to work with someone closer to you, I know there's.
Doesn't matter. They'll work in. These people will work in whatever time zone you want.
Yeah, they work around the clock sometimes too. I've noticed.
Yeah. So this is the Philippines. So the Philippines is upside down, right? But it's actually great for the Philippines and Pakistan, because in Pakistan, for example, we have a lot of moms, and these moms, because the culture is different. Women are treated differently over there. They want to be able to spend time with their kids during the day. And then when they put the kids to sleep at night, then they come online and they're able to work with us. Yeah. Right. So they
I use online jobs a lot before. I've used it a lot and it's pretty good. I hire editors and, assistants and everything in between there to do the stuff. It's quite good. You have to filter through, but it's pretty good. Yeah.
So we have a lot of training on how to do this. And you can see all these people every day are coming in. So, Navid, why do you think all these people are saying rabbit, rabbit, rabbit?
Okay. They're in there. There's basically like for different job posts, or?
Yeah, because in order to apply, this is the job.
Yeah, you have to write something specific. Is that something specific word or something like that, right?
Yeah. So here's the job posting you're applying to.
Yeah, I say a specific keyword they need to write, otherwise they didn't read the description or something like that. Is that what you mean?
We're testing if they're paying attention. So you mentioned earlier that you have to sift through a lot of applicants, and 99% of the people applying are no good. So you'll get hundreds of applications. So we can see how many people are paying attention. And look, what percent of people are paying attention here? Are they using the keyword? No. And so we have different keywords for different jobs. You know, it's an antelope, it's a rabbit, it's a mouse, it's a deer, you know, whatever it might be.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to make sure they're detail oriented and stuff like that. If they can't even do that in a job description, which is most people, then they are no good for you. But that's okay. You're gonna get some good ones, and you wouldn't have time anyway to go through like all the ones. So it's kind of good that not everyone pays attention.
Right.
So yeah, it's awesome.
So who's John Jonas? Do you know who John Jonas is?
John Jonas.
He's the founder of onlinejobs.ph.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I forgot his name, but yeah, before I've seen some interviews with him, but I'm not it was a few years ago. I forgot his name.
So John Jonas created this, and it's the world's largest VA marketplace with 2 million VAs. And he and I, as you can see here, now notice I did a search for John Jonas, right? So it's tagging as this. And it's showing all these videos of he and I talking about this. And here we're training people. We're saying, hey, if you want to get a job, if you're in the Philippines and you want to get a job, here's some tips. You know, here's how you create a great profile on online jobs. Here's how the difference between a VA that makes $300 a month versus one that makes $1,000 a month, right? So all of this stuff is here. And the beauty is that we're making videos for the VAs, but also we're making videos separately for the business owners. So, you know, here we're like,
what do you recommend people start? What's a good starting? So, I mean, I think I paid my video editor like $800 a month starting, which was pretty advanced. But I know for a good designer can go up to more, like 800 to maybe 1500. Depends. I think my main designer has like a team. He has a team in the Philippines. I think he's paying over 1,000 because they're really good.
Well, then it becomes arbitrary.
To retain them. It's important to retain them. If you're paying a crappy salary or like really low, they might leave you for someone else as well. So
when you're hiring someone, you do not want to hire someone arbitrarily based on an arbitrary job description, which is just for that own person, or arbitrarily based on a payment. Like, oh, I'll just pay them $800. I'll pay them $300. I heard someone else is paying $1,200, kind of like what you said. Instead, you need to have a clear standard, right? And with the standard, people will see like, this is how we edit videos. And we have training associated with this. So it's very clear what level they're coming in on. We have 6 levels, right? And people, if you don't have levels or you don't have clear descriptions, people say, well, I'm an expert, because they all say they're experts, but are they really? An expert doesn't mean that they have more years of experience. Expert means that you can actually get certain tasks done. So we explain what these tasks are done in the particular training, right? We have quizzes, we have courses. They have to show how, we have examples of how we do. Here's the guide. If you want to show that you know how to do videos, then here's additional assets that you've got to be able to do. Or here's the kind of tasks you got to be able to do. Here's examples of the quality. Here's an example piece of raw video. Go ahead and edit it and then submit it over here so we can evaluate it. And then our people look at it and go through a checklist, which is all process driven, to see, are they able to do the work, or are they just claiming that they're good? Because you can interview somebody and they sound good. You can look at their portfolio. Maybe it was done by them. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe that it took them 50 hours when really it should take them 1 hour, right? Maybe they're not willing to use the tools that you want. Maybe they don't know how to work in a team, but we have training on how to do all these things, right? So we always share examples. So when we hire a VA, this is the important point I want you and everyone else to hear. Whenever you're hiring somebody, you want to also back that job description with a function, the SOP, that shows exactly how they do that job. Because if you don't have an SOP, then they're going to do whatever, and then you have to personally supervise them and guide them and train them, and that's a huge investment. And if they ever leave you, then you've lost that investment. Right?
How do you get someone on board for doing this? Because now we can show an example of what this would look like. For example, you create a lot of content. Let's say a blog post that would rank in Google is typically more in-depth. I mean, you can show first an example how you would do that yourself, and how would you actually outsource this type of task to someone, you know, in the Philippines or whatever it would be.
So everything we have is checklist and SOP driven. So I've come to this article, how to transcribe pillar content, which is long form video using Descript. And it shows exactly how to do it step by step. And I can do it too if we need to, or you can come and see it because I demonstrate through example, and it literally shows how you do it. And we have thousands of examples of people who have edited videos, and they upload, you know, here's how you get access to the raw video. Here's how you process it. Here's how you turn it into blog posts, right?
Do you create these kind of SOPs yourself, or I mean, before, or you just record a video and it just takes screenshots automatically?
Yep, and there's tools that will take that video and automatically turn it into a checklist.
Which do you have a recommendation? I've seen some tools like that as well. I forgot, but
there's a lot of tools that will do that. I don't like any of them that well, even though they do the thing well, because I find that while it's easy for them to take like a Loom or a Zoom and chop it up and make this kind of thing, I find that the context, the kind of explaining some of the details that you need to understand at the different steps, the AI tools don't do a good job at. So what I like to do is take the transcript and the checklist. Like I'll take the raw transcript, I'll paste it in ChatGPT, and then I'll say, all right, turn this into a checklist and include guidance along the way where you think people are going to mess it up, right?
Yeah.
So here, first step is you have to, you know, upload the video or get access to it, identify the speaker, all these things that you do inside Descript, as you can see, right?
Yeah.
But along the way, like here's our guide on how to use Descript. Here's how you edit it. Here's how you use ChatGPT. Here's how you have a good title. Here's how you know. And then when it gets turned into a blog post, we show people how do you, like we have a one-page checklist on how do you do a good blog post. Does it have an image? Is it a good title? Is it using tags properly? Is it linking to related content properly, right?
Yeah. There's many things. Like if you've been blogging for a while, this is like normal to do. But if you're new to this, I mean, you need to have internal linking, all this stuff.
Okay, so they so the video editor or whatever processed the content, and they've run the transcription and turned it into an article using ChatGPT. Now they have to log into WordPress and post it as an article, right?
Yeah.
Here's the checklist that they go through. We have a sheet that we like to keep track of that. Why? Because we have a huge team of VAs and we don't want them stepping on each other. And some of this will tie back to client projects because the client needs to know, okay, you know, we produced 10 blog posts. And not only did we produce those 10 blog posts, but those 10 blog posts are driving traffic. They're ranking on good keywords and we're running ads against it. So then that person has to run ads or someone's got to run ads so that people actually see the content after it's been posted, right?
Yeah.
So back to the 4-stage content factory, that raw video gets processed in Descript. And then we use our way of turning these things into articles based on these checklists. So it gets turned into blog posts and YouTubes and Instagram stories. And then we run ads against it, right?
Okay.
So we have to go through, we have to take content all the way through to the end here.
Yeah. When you record a video, like, I mean, you had a lot of different ways of doing this. Do you think about kind of the topic for SEO beforehand? So you're
Of course.
Yeah. So it's not just a random video.
It's not random. In anything like this, we can cover all kinds of topics. Like you want to talk about VAs or talk about Descript or talk about whatever. So that's fine, right? I'm okay with podcasts or summits going in different directions because I know for me what my expertise is and what I want to be known for. And here they are. Here are the 6 areas. And each of the topics breaks into subtopics, of course, right? And if you as a creator don't have these topics that you want to be known for, then you'll just talk about random stuff and you're just wasting time. You could have a good time, but then you're just hanging out with people instead of, you know, you as a creator need to operate as a business, right? Most creators don't understand how to operate as a business. So when I'm co-creating content with somebody else, I'm always thinking about, does that tie to a topic that we care about? So for example, you know, managing people in education and hiring VAs, even though you might not know that we have education on that, I know I can immediately, as you saw, show the related training and examples that show that I'm authoritative in those particular topics, right?
Yeah.
And therefore, when I do a search on Google for this, or I ask ChatGPT, it shows up because I have so much content co-created with other people that are knowledgeable in that topic. So if I say, Navid, that I'm good at digital marketing, you don't know, right? But if you know that Mari Smith and Larry Kim and other people, and you see them and I creating content on how to do this, then it becomes authoritative and legit, right? And because that content gets repurposed to all the different parts of the internet and social media, gets chopped up, turned into articles, all that kind of stuff, right?
It's like branding by association as well, because you're connecting with other experts in the field. They have authority, and you're like sharing. They are basically sharing with their audience, and then it shows up on Google when people search for different topics. And maybe they go to their website or social media, and they see then it's you, and they see everything you have talked about, and they might also see them on your profile. So it's like a win-win. That's why I like doing summits a lot, because it's a little bit similar. You share value from others as well.
Yeah. And I prefer other people, like if they know, Grant Cardone or Karen Freeberg or Caleb Williams or these other people that are here, they trust Brendan King because he's the CEO of Vendasta, right? They don't know who I am necessarily, but they see he and I are hanging out. They see we're having dinner. They see us in different places. They see us on a podcast. Then I'm leveraging their trust to build my brand. And if you're a creator, fine. You could maybe, you're very clever. Maybe the things that you say or do, you think that's enough. But I find that the collaboration with other people draws the traffic in. When now they're interested in seeing like, okay, I know who Brendan King is. And he and Dennis were talking about whatever, local SEO. But now I want to find out more about Dennis. So now I want to go Google Dennis, right? How often do you see somebody you've never heard of before, but you saw them with someone that you trusted, and then you go and you Google them? You want to find out more, right? So this whole topic wheel is designed around you building your audience where people naturally discover you.
I've never seen someone talk about it in this way. It's really cool. I mean, it makes total sense, because it's like, it's kind of when you're speaking on certain topics, you just have it like that, because otherwise you might spread yourself too thin. You are like all over the place with the topics. And but I do like this. This makes it a lot easier to understand as well how to build your brand and connect with others that might have similar topics you can talk about as well. Yeah.
And there's a lot of creators that have made a lot of content. Like you, Navid, you made a ton of content. And you're continuing to create more content. But if you want to drive your business, then you want to have your greatest hits, which are the best performing pieces of content, and really focus on those and put ad dollars against them and just try to squeeze it for more. It's like a musician that gets royalties off of their good songs from many years ago, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And just going off kind of examples, like can you showcase something like where you got some, by using these kind of AI strategies and different strategies you've shared here, like some SEO improvements, when you kind of blended this in together, like in the creator efforts, like can you showcase something from your site or others you worked with?
Yeah. So let me show you this. You see these circles on the outside here? So here's an example of a masterclass that I taught with Tom Ferry, right? Tom Ferry is the best known guy in real estate. Right. So he's what we call a lighthouse. So if you're a real estate agent, then you know who this guy is. And this was posted on his site, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on all these other places, right? Fantastic, right? And now look at the comments on this. And you'll see it's hundreds and hundreds of positive comments. And this goes on and on and on and on. And you can see what people have to say, right? So this is what we call the greatest hit. It's a greatest hit not because hundreds of thousands of real estate agents have seen Tom and I talk about SEO and digital and social media and whatever it is. It's because the feedback is good, not because there's a lot of likes and views and comments and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So because this is good, and because this drives my personal brand, and it drives us more clients that sign up for our real estate agency. We have different agencies. Each one does it, serves a particular audience. So if you're a real estate agent, and you see this, and you see the training that Tom and I have gone through where we share exactly how to do these things, then why wouldn't, and this happened 2 years ago, see? Why wouldn't I want to get more out of it? Why would I spend my effort trying to create more content when I already have one that's winning? So what I do is I take this, and then I can go to Twitter, for example, and I'll say, real estate agents, because I'm always want to make sure it's clear, right? And then I'll tag him, Tom Ferry. And I made this digital marketing masterclass just for you. Okay. There.
Yeah.
Now, some people will see it. Some people might not see it. Now it's been posted 2 seconds ago. Well, let's see. Where is it? Here it is, right? 8 seconds ago.
Yep.
Nobody has seen it yet. Actually, Twitter's analytics doesn't even register. And this is the trouble with most creators is they post the content. Let's go back to the context of the 4-stage content factory, right?
Yeah.
So they publish it and they just go back again, make more content, process it and publish it. And they continue to go in this circle of stage 1, 2, 3, right?
You should where do you, I guess you should spend them because I've heard way back, like when I got started online, I think Derek Halpern, he was very active. He was like talking about the 80-20 for content promotion, right? A lot of people spent like 80% of the time creating the content, which is, almost all the time. And then they spend almost no time promoting it, but you should actually do the opposite to spend more time promoting this, what you call the greatest hit content, right? The best, that's why you should have pillar content.
Yeah. So here I go Tom Ferry Masterclass because I should be spending 95% of my time squeezing more out of what's working instead of 95% of the time.
You're even more,
95%
with the promotion, right?
It's not 80-20, it's 95-5 because 80-20 is organic only. Ads allow us to take our greatest hits and get even more. So it's an even greater multiplier than 80-20. Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. So now how much am I going to spend to test this?
Sure. How much do you usually? What is a good start?
Right? We spend $1 a day. So $1 a day for a week. We allow it to test for a week because the weekends perform differently than weekdays. I'm going to give it enough time. So we're spending $7. We're spending $1 a day for 7 days, right? Very easy. So this is like taking a shot on goal. This is a testing strategy. I know it looks like advertising.
To test it and then you increase it, right? If it works
well, then I continue. Then I'll put $2 a day for maybe 30 days. Then I'll turn it into when the signal's working, then I'll chop it up. I'll make variations. I'll do other things to try to get more. But it has to first prove itself for $1 a day, right?
Yeah.
Now, who should see this? Well, I want the highest relevancy, so I'm going to target Tom Ferry.
Yeah.
So, what do you think the relevancy is for targeting Tom Ferry on content with me and Tom Ferry? How relevant is this?
Pretty much 100%. Like it's like
So, what kind of engagement rate do you think I'm going to get on this?
Pretty high, assuming you get the reach, and I'm sure you get pretty. I don't know how many you can target from him. I don't see clearly on the screen, but should be pretty good.
And every network it's different. Maybe it's 100,000, it's 50,000, it's 200,000. But here I've targeted everyone that follows him on Twitter. And I even say, real estate agents, Tom Ferry and I made this for you. And then you can see a little video, a picture of Tom Ferry. So obviously I'm targeting people who are real estate agents. They know Tom Ferry. So they see Tom Ferry here. I've chosen this tweet from all the tweets I could have chosen. And then I am done. See, now I've made an ad, right?
Have you tried, since you are good friends with many people, have you also tried to tell them to, hey, can I run ads to your email list for this? Have you also, they upload basically their custom audience?
We don't even need to do that anymore.
You don't need
audiences have largely died because of all the privacy issues in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it doesn't work right too well.
Yeah.
So
you still want to do it with your own audience.
On Facebook, for example, you could target, his following, I guess, or something like that, similar to Twitter.
Yeah. So you can see here in the analytics, which Twitter's slow, already 1 like and 27 people have seen it. But that's just purely organic. Now, over the next 7 days, 1,000 people are going to see this, who are all relevant. They're going to like this. They're going to watch the video. Why am I sending them to this YouTube video instead of to my website?
You already have some social proof on this video.
All these people are going to see that other people that are like them are engaging on this. So they see it's really good. They see it's Tom Ferry, and there's already a trust of it's on his channel. I always like to send co-created content to whoever they trust the most. So when I create, when I speak at a conference like Social Media Examiner, which is the big one for social media people, I send traffic. I spend my money, $1 a day, sending people to the conference video or whatnot, right? Because if I look at Social Media Examiner in my name, there's all these videos that I've made together with the founder, right? Here's one, right? How to make successful Facebook video ads. And you can see it's an interview of me and Michael Stelzner, right?
Is that like at the conference you're doing like a
this is
video,
at the
right?
at the conference, and then they edit it. So notice you can do this. Doesn't have to be in Descript or whatever, but he and I are having this interview. So if I target people who follow this conference, Social Media Examiner, or I follow people who know the founder, which is Michael Stelzner, they're going to engage, and there's a lot of trust. And I'm sending them they're watching the ad, which is really just a snippet. Think of it as like a movie trailer, right? I'm using lots of little snippets of the conversations, the movie trailer, to send them to watch the movie. And if they like that, they're going to Google me. They're going to come to the website. They're going to click on my other stuff, right? And you can see that we have a lot of content together, right? This is very good, right? And that's the whole point of being an influencer. You're an influencer not because you say you're influential, but because other people who are well respected in that category are friends of yours, and you co-create content. But this last stage is the most important part, because when you find a winner, and I'm very lucky because I have a number of these winners, I don't ever need to create content again, because my winners, I continue to put $1 a day, $5 a day. And some people say, but I don't have the kind of money you have because you're spending a lot of money on ads. We spent $1 billion on ads. Well, it's because every dollar I spend makes me another $3 or $5. So as I'm making money, I put the money back into the machine. That's what pays for this. So I consider my advertising free, if that makes sense.
It's really good. I mean, I love this. It's awesome.
But it's the exact opposite of what the other creators are doing, right? I mean, you don't. What are the key differences in our model versus what creators do?
No, for sure. That's why it's really interesting. I know you would share about this, but because I've seen your stuff all over, and you're a proponent of this. But like other creators, I mean, of course you enjoy the creative process, but they don't get as much out of it as they probably should. That's what I could see with other creators. Yeah, now there's obviously AI tools. It makes it easier to create short form content and stuff like that. And I do see some people are doing it really well. They're on podcasts, they're chopping it up everywhere. And it's like you see they're like everywhere really quickly. That's really great. But I see a lot of creators who have amazing content, but they are just on their own platform basically, or you don't see them too much more. So that's interesting. So, but not a lot of people using the ad strategy you're sharing. Not a lot of people doing this. Then that could probably get more reach. A lot of people are just for the organic. So that's kind of a different form of thinking for sure. But I think your way is a better way. You get more out of it. So.
If you want to make money as a creator, right? Otherwise, if you're you see how most creators spend time in just box number one. They're constantly producing content, and maybe they've learned a little bit of video editing or whatever, so they do a little bit of box two. Yeah. And then they publish it just to YouTube or just to TikTok or just to whatever, without realizing, if you're like my buddy Sean Kelly, he's got 14 million followers on Instagram. He's very well networked. I mean, big influencer, right? One of the biggest. But if I go look for him on Google and I look up Sean Mike Kelly podcast, right? I can see all the people that he's been with. There's a lot of them. Look at this. YouTube, his Facebook, he's big, right? Yeah. Look at all these people. Look at all the people that he's ever had. They're like, these are all the biggest names, right? Ty Lopez, right? And he's got a lot of engagement, thousands of likes on all these. But when I search for him on Google, there's no knowledge panel. And this content has been living here, but he didn't repurpose it to the website. And it was only yesterday I said, Sean, because he hit me up saying, hey, we need to fix this. And I said, Sean, you don't, just like Jan's problem, where's your website? He says, oh, but it's already taken. Someone else bought SeanKelly.com. And I said, SeanKelly.ai is open. So we bought that yesterday. And now we're starting to now harvest the value of all these people that he's interviewed. Look, there's Lauren Tickner.
Yeah, so many great ones, and he can get good traffic from this for sure.
Yeah. What a shame. And that's true with almost all these influencers, is they spend all this time here in box number one, very little processing, and they don't even get to publishing or promoting. Every stage here is 10 times more powerful, Navid.
I have a question. Do you ever start, like, for example, with outlining just a blog post, or you usually start with video first now these days?
Video first, which then turns into a blog post.
Okay.
Always video.
So it's simpler for me as well. Actually, my process a lot of times is very similar. It seems like you also like to get interviewed or doing things like that. I like to, actually, I have a process now to get someone like let's say Jan or a student or something like that would interview me, get all the information, and we transcribe it, and we do this process. Like if I want to teach virtual summits or courses, it's just a lot faster than just sitting alone in front of the camera, and then you're like in your head. It's just easier if someone asks me the questions, because I already have all the answers. They can just ask it, and we outline it before. We might use AI to outline it a little bit with the help of kind of my knowledge, and then it's good to go. Yeah.
Well, I find that I just don't think I'm interesting enough, and I feel like I have nothing more to say. You know, how do I keep saying the same thing over and over again? Right? I'd rather look at different situations and look. I care I'm so much more interested in what other people are doing. You know?
Yeah. And how do you, like, for example, I mean, something else you wrote down was like future-proofing your content, right? Like, is that like updating content or just making sure it's evergreen, or what
those
do you mean
things.
when you say this?
Well, if you think about the idea of the topic wheel, the topic wheel by definition is making your content future-proof and evergreen, because the core principles of entrepreneurship, mentorship, digital marketing, whatever, education is always going to be the same. Now, yes, there's always new news and new people and new things, new tools, whatever it is, but the core of it, 99% of it's going to be the same. It never changes. Okay. And when we're telling stories, as you can see here, I'm asking these other people, you know, in my podcast to tell me stories about how they get started, about this one thing that they learned, about, you know, whatever it is. And those stories are going to be evergreen. There's always going to be new stories, so we keep updating it. And yes, we can use the AI where, you know, we'll have a blog post on here's my friend Heather Dobson ran social media at GoDaddy. You've heard of GoDaddy, right? I wrote this article 10 years ago. 12 things you didn't know about Heather Dobson, right? She has a hedgehog named Vigo. She's, you know, done this. She's done that. She's was a former police officer, you know? Like, who would have thought, right? But this was 10 years ago, so certainly I want to update this. And maybe this, you know, let's say you want to be known in a certain topic like virtual summits, and we create this thing like 15 things that you need to know about virtual summits in 2023. Well, in 3 months, it's going to be 2024. So what are you going to do, Navid? Make a new article? No. Take the existing one and change it to 2024, and maybe, you know, add one more tip. Now it's like 14 things that you need to do.
I do this every year for my blog and stuff like that, because it works to put the year in the title a lot of the times to make it you know, seem fresh or whatever. The people click through more. So we do, especially for affiliate marketing. I've found it work really well to put the year. So and this you need to update. But other content there, you know, it's more evergreen. I for example, I did a summit a few years ago about list building. I mean, I'm just uploading some of these videos to YouTube because they're still relevant. You know, even in the age of AI, the strategy still applies. Yeah, you can help. You can optimize things with AI, do things a little faster, but the strategies are evergreen. How you grow your list, how you do email marketing, how you do copywriting, that didn't change. You know, people think just because you're using AI, you might not need to learn copywriting, but I think you still need to learn certain strategies in order to grow your business. Even as a creator, you know, you should still know some of these things, because we are, you know, maybe marketers at core from, you know, I've been doing this 10 years. You have even longer than it. So, you know, so you have been doing this for a while. So,
And the longer I've been doing it almost 30 years. I find it's the same thing. Nothing has really changed. I mean, some of the tactical things and the tools change, but the principles that I was doing 30 years ago, building the websites, you know, when the internet first started, are still the same concepts, because it's relationships and content.
Awesome.
Everything boils back to those two. And you as a creator should know that.
Awesome.
Everyone is a creator, that you know that. Who cares what the tool is? The tool you're going to be using a year from now because of AI is going to change. I'm not worried about the tools changing.
It's the core strategy, and this is the same, right? And then the tools might change. We have switched like email software so many times, but doesn't matter. It's like if you know your marketing, you can still make sales via email or connect with your audience and stuff.
You could be using MailChimp and make it work. You know, who cares, right? It's the quality of your list. That's, you know, it's what you're saying. It's I
mean, as we wrap this up, we can stop sharing. I think we have shared enough for the screen, so that's fine. But where can people connect more with you if they wanna, you know, find out, connect with you, learn more about you?
Google me. When I was at Yahoo, and a lot of the people I trained, they went to go work at Google. And I was like, why are you people so disloyal? And I had other engineers that worked for me, and they would say, just Google it. what are you talking about? And they said, yeah, but
Dennis
if you
is
say
everywhere.
just Yahoo it doesn't sound very good. Like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But literally, just Google me, right?
Yeah,
And
I would say that
respond.
is the best way to learn too, because we taught you a lot of this today. So Google Dennis, he's actually, doing this by example. He's not just teaching this, he's actually done it as you've seen it. And if you implement this, leverage some of the AI strategies, ChatGPT, Descript, and tools we mentioned. And leave your biggest takeaway as well below the video. Connect with Dennis, and subscribe to the channel if you want some more stuff. And it was really a valuable session, Dennis. I really appreciate you for coming on and taking the time here. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Navid. An honor. Yeah. And thank you everybody who watched to the end. I do read all the comments, me personally, not the VA.
All right, guys, take care.